They told you life is fair, that if you're kind, you'll win, that people will treat you the same way you treat them. But that was just a story, a lie, a way to make you easier to control. Now you wake up every day and feel stuck, like you're in a cage, because you weren't really raised, you were programmed. They didn't teach you to think, they taught you to obey. They told you to hide your dreams behind politeness, to smile even when you're angry, to say sorry when you want more out of life. They turned you into a quiet follower and called it being moral. But here's the truth. People don't care how nice or good you are. They care about what you can do, what you control, what you lead. That's why liars climb to the top and gentle people suffer. Because power doesn't reward good behavior. It rewards focus, boldness, and smart strategy. But they were afraid that if you ever found this out, you'd stop asking for approval. You'd stop playing their games. You'd create your own rules. So they hid the truth in school, in guilt, in the lie that says wanting power is bad. But it's not bad. It means you're awake, Dot. This isn't about turning into a villain. This is about getting back the power they took from you. Your edge, your fire, your fighter spirit. Because the nice guy often ends up broke. And the man who always obeys ends up bitter. But the man who learns how the world really works, he changes the whole game, Dot. So stop waiting to be picked. Stop making yourself small to make others feel big. This world doesn't care about soft hands. It respects scars, strategy, stillness. Let them say you're cold. Let them say you're full of yourself. They only say that because they can't use you anymore. Burn this into your mind. You weren't born to obey. You weren't made to kneel. You were built to shape the world with your will. But first, you have to destroy the lie you were raised on. Break it, burn it, spit on its ashes, Dot. And if you're still here reading this, say it with me. I do not kneel. Nobody is coming to save you. You keep waiting for the right moment, the perfect help, the perfect timing, as if someone will show up and give you permission to be strong. But they won't. Not your family, not your friends, not the world. You're on your own. And that's actually your biggest advantage, because when you finally accept that no one is coming to fix your life, you stop waiting and start building. You stop explaining yourself and start taking action. This is the moment where the boy inside you fades away and the warrior wakes up. That's when people finally notice you and listen. But that only happens when you stop expecting the world to be fair. You weren't born into a peaceful kingdom. You were thrown into a battlefield that no one cares about your excuses. The job market doesn't care if you're tired. Women don't care if you're nice. The world doesn't care if you tried your best. What it respects is power, bold moves, and action with no apologies. You want respect? Earn it through pain, through effort, through results. You want power? Rip it out of the world's hands. Stop venting. Start planning. Stop hoping. Start striking. Every second you spend waiting is a second you could use to become unstoppable. There's no magic break, no lucky mentor. It's just you and the choice to go full beast mode, Dot. And once you do, once you say, I'll burn every bridge that leads back to weakness, nothing can stop you. Not pain, not betrayal, not fear, because this world eats men who pause, who whine, who wait for signs. But it bows down to the man who walks like he's already won. That's the man you're becoming, not the victim, but the builder. Cold, hands, clear focus, unshakable presence. So burn the backup plan, destroy the safety net, and decide this: if I don't build it, I die poor. That's the new rule. It's harsh, good, because you weren't meant to survive. You were meant to dominate. Say it out loud. I do not kneel. Your mind can either be your strongest weapon or your biggest prison. There is no middle ground, if you don't train. Your mind, someone else will, and they'll train it to serve them, not you. Just look around. Most men aren't thinking, they're reacting. They follow trends, scroll endlessly, repeat what they're told. They're living inside scripts created by people way ahead of them. That ends today. Machiavelli didn't write for soft men. He wrote for sharp minds, for men who knew that morality is a tool, not a cage. If you want to rise in life, you have to start thinking like a strategist. Understand this. Every face you see is a mask. Every favor comes with a price. Every smile is a test. Every weakness in others is an opportunity. Stop playing checkers in a world ruled by chess. You need to understand people, how they move, what they fear, what they want, where they're blind. Because the man who understands patterns owns the room. Don't think like a beggar. Think like a general. Track, study, strike. Use your brain, not just your emotions. You were taught to. Always feel. Now it's time to calculate. Don't ask, how do I feel? Ask, what's the angle here? Not, is this fair? But, how do I win? That's not being mean. That's being clear. That's being dangerous in the smartest way. Cold minds build empires. Emotional men build regrets. And here's the plot twist. The most powerful men? They aren't loud. They're quiet. While the crowd talks, they observe. While others show off, they prepare. While the weak chase likes, they gather leverage. B. That kind of man, calm, quiet, deadly. Smile with a blade behind your back. You're not here to be popular. You're here to be unpredictable. Because if they can't guess your next move, they can't control you. And once they can't control you, they fear you. That's your power. You don't have to fight. You just have to think 10 steps ahead. So starting today, study power. Study influence. Study silence. Become so smart, so aware, so sharp, that when someone tries to step to you, it feels like they just walked into a trap. Because once your mind becomes a weapon, your enemies stop being dangerous. Say it again. I do not kneel. Because now you understand? Every king started as a quiet, dangerous student. The world is not fair. But that's not the curse. That's your biggest weapon. You've been taught to believe that fairness means safety. That good things happen to good people. But look around. Is that how it works? The cruel get rich. The loud get heard. The bold get the throne. And the kind man? He gets left behind because he played by rules that don't exist. Fairness is a story they use to keep you soft, to stop you from doing what it really takes to win. They want you to be polite while they take what's yours. But now you know better. This game has different rules. And once you learn them, you can win without apology. Here's the truth. If someone lies and wins, it's not unfair. It's a lesson. If someone cheats and gets ahead, don't cry. Analyze. Learn the strategy. Find the leverage. Study what works. You don't fix the game by complaining. You beat the game by understanding it better than anyone else. This isn't about becoming evil. It's about no longer being naive. Use your silence to make them guess. Use your losses to sharpen your plan. Use their underestimation as your invisibility cloak. Let them think you're soft, while you grow harder than steel. Behind closed doors, you don't need to cry for justice. You need to become undeniable. When they play dirty, get sharper. When they lie, move quieter. When they cheat, outlast them. Because here's the secret. Most of them only win because no one dares to challenge them. But the moment you stop begging for fairness and start using your pain like fuel, you rise. You rise with calm eyes, with heavy steps, with a mind too cold to break and a heart too scarred to stop. So let the world stay unfair. That's not your weakness. That's your invitation to dominate it. Say it once more, louder this time. I do not kneel. There is a version of you that needs to die. The soft one. The scared one. The one who keeps waiting, doubting, apologizing. That version? Earn it. He was built by fear. Shaped by weakness. Taught to stay small, quiet, invisible. He wanted approval. He wanted to be liked. And in doing that, he lost his edge. But now you don't need approval. You need power. Understand this. You can't become a new man until you bury the old one. Not hide him. Not comfort him. Kill him. No more, maybe later. No more, I'm trying. No more, I'm just being nice. That version of you doesn't belong in this next chapter. He can't survive here because this new version, he walks different, talks different, doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't explain. He doesn't get caught up in emotions. He uses them like fuel, like fire, like war. He doesn't get overwhelmed by pressure. He turns pressure into diamonds. He doesn't dream about power. He takes it. And to become him, you have to stop feeling bad for letting go of the weak version. Yes, people will say you've changed. Good. You're supposed to. You're not here to stay soft so others feel comfortable. You're here to build a new beast. So stop holding on to old habits. Stop listening to the same lies. Stop treating your potential like a side project. You are the project. You are the weapon. You are the plan. This is the chapter where you do things that scare you, where you move like a man with nothing to lose, because the weak version of you already died, and in his place stands someone unrecognizable, colder, sharper, ready. Say it out loud. I killed the man who waited. I am the one who strikes. No more shrinking, no more softness, no more second chances for the old you. Only war, only focus, only victory. Say it again without fear. I do not kneel. Every strong man you admire lives by a code, not society's code, not their parents' rules. Their own code. It's written in pain, forged in silence, and followed without compromise. Without a personal code, you're just guessing, drifting, copying other people's moves, hoping something sticks. But when you create your own code, you stop reacting and start commanding. You become the kind of man who doesn't ask for respect. He gets it just by walking into the room. So what? Is a personal code? It's not just words on paper. It's a decision about who you are, even when no one's watching. It's a mental law, a system, a strategy. You decide what you will never tolerate again, what you will always protect, no matter what, how you act. When pressure hits. How you handle betrayal, success, chaos, and silence. Your code becomes your anchor, in storms, in winds, in setbacks. And every time you follow it, you become more solid, more dangerous, more respected, even in silence. Maybe your code says, I speak little, I move fast, I never show all my cards. Or I train every day, no matter how I feel. Or I never complain. I calculate, I strike when ready. It doesn't have to sound poetic. It just has to be real and unbreakable. Once your code is clear, you'll move differently. People will sense it. They won't be able to play with your time, your mind, or your emotions, because they'll know this man has rules, and you do not bend. That's how power is built, by men who stop following trends and start following principles. So don't just read this. Build your code. Write it. Memorize it. Live it. Let it become your armor. Because when the world throws confusion, temptation, noise, a man with a code stays calm, locked in, untouchable. And when they ask, why are you so disciplined? So focused? Just smile and say, because I built my own law, and I don't break it for anyone. Say it again, steady and clear. I do not kneel. Don't train like you're just trying to stay in shape. Train like something is coming to destroy you, and you're the only one who can stop it. Because whether you see it or not, war is coming. Not always with guns or soldiers, but with betrayal, failure, heartbreak, exhaustion, and pressure. It will hit your body. It will hit your mind. It will test every inch of you. And when that day comes, only one question matters. Did you train for it? Most men wait until life breaks them before they get serious. Then it's too late. But not you. You train in silence. You suffer on purpose. You build discipline like it's your only weapon, because deep down, you know it is. You're not just lifting weights. You're building a mind that doesn't flinch. You're not just doing cardio. You're sharpening lungs that don't. Give up. Every rep, every lap, every second you push through pain. You're telling the world, I'm already at war. I'm just waiting for you to catch up. Because the truth is, weak men get taken out, emotionally, mentally, financially. But trained men, they bend, but they don't break. They lose battles, but they don't lose themselves. So when people say, why are you working so hard? Why are you training like you're preparing for something? Just smile and say, because I am. Train like you'll be betrayed. Like you'll be left alone. Like your only weapon will be your ability to keep going when others fall. Because that day will come. And when it does, most will panic. You won't. You'll tighten your grip, slow your breathing, and say, let's begin. This is how warriors are built. Not in the fight, but in the preparation for it. Say it now, as if the enemy was listening. I do not kneel. If you want real power, you must leave the noise of opinions, the noise of trends, the noise of people telling you who to be, what to want, and how to act. That noise is designed to keep you weak, to keep you chasing things that don't matter, to distract you from building the one thing that does, yourself. Every time you check your phone, argue online, gossip, scroll for hours, you're feeding weakness. You're giving your mind away. But silence is where warriors are built. It's where focus sharpens, where ideas grow, where you finally hear your own voice. Not the world's. So cut it off. Turn it down. Walk away from the noise. Like your life depends on it, because it does. While others are busy posting, bragging, watching, pretending, you are building. In silence. In the dark. In places no one sees, but where strength is truly formed. You don't need to show your progress. You need to make it undeniable. You don't need applause. You need results, not them laugh while you disappear. Let them doubt while you grind. Let them think you're gone, until the day you return unrecognizable. And by then, it's too late. They can't compete with the man who built in silence. Remember, lions don't need to announce their hunt. They just move, calm, deadly, focused. That's Not loud, not flashy, just dangerous. Say it with a quiet fire in your chest. I do not kneel. Power is not always loud. Real power is quiet. Until it isn't, you don't need to. Tell people your every move. You don't need to warn them you're coming. You move in silence, like a shadow. And when it's time, you hit like a storm. That's how you stay untouchable, unseen, unpredictable. They expect you to talk. You watch instead. They expect you to react. You wait. They think you're passive. But really? You're calculating. You're not weak. You're just patient. You're learning patterns, spotting weaknesses, measuring angles. And when the moment is right, you don't hesitate. You strike and everything changes. This is how strategy works not through noise, but through timing. Weak men rush. Strong men wait. Strategic men prepare in the shadows. The world doesn't reward noise anymore. It rewards mastery, precision, the man who knows exactly when to speak, act, or vanish. So become that man. Don't post your every step. Don't explain your goals. Don't argue to prove your point. Prove it through action. One silent wind speaks, louder than 1,000 noisy promises. And when you finally make your move, make sure they feel it like thunder. Like a storm that came out of nowhere, but had been building for years. That's your style now. Move like smoke. Hit like fire. Vanish again. Because if they can't see you coming, they can't stop you. Say it calmly, like you already know what's coming. I do not kneel. Some people will call you cold. Let them. They don't understand what it takes to build strength. They think kindness means weakness. They think softness is a virtue in all situations. But you know better. You've been burned. You've trusted the wrong ones. You've learned the hard way that being too open can destroy you. So now you walk different. Eyes sharper. Heart quieter. Guard up. Not because you're cruel, but because you finally respect yourself. That's what they call cold. But it's not emptiness. It's protection. You can still love. You can still feel. But now you choose who earns it. You don't bleed for people who would watch you suffer. You don't give your loyalty to people who play both sides. You keep your warmth, but it's locked behind discipline, behind respect, behind boundaries. You see, a weak man is warm to everyone because he wants approval. A strong man? He's warm to a few and dangerous to all who try to cross him. That's who you're becoming. You are not a machine. But you've learned to control your emotions like one. You don't panic. You don't beg. You don't chase. You observe. You calculate. You move with clarity. And yes, when needed, you become cold, but never hollow. Because inside that silence, there's still fire, still vision, still heart, just not for everyone. So when they say, you've changed, just nod. You have. Because now you finally understand the truth. Not everyone deserves your softness. And when they ask, why are you so cold? Say nothing. Just look at them and think, because I do not kneel. Nobody is going to hand you respect. Not in this world. Not in this life. You have to take it. And not with noise, not with begging, not with showing off, but with power. With consistency, with how you carry yourself when no one is watching. People don't respect talk. They respect results. They respect the man who walks into a room and doesn't need to prove anything because his presence already says it all. He's quiet, but not soft. He's humble, but not weak. He's calm. But if needed, he can turn sharp, fast, and dangerous. That's what earns respect. Not money, not followers, not the clothes you wear. It's your discipline, your control, your mindset. People test you when they sense doubt, but they back off when they see certainty. So stop trying to be liked. Start becoming someone who can't be ignored. Work in silence. Keep your standards high, say less, mean more. And carry yourself like a man who bows to no one. Respect will follow, not because you asked for it, but because you commanded it. They will talk about you behind your back. Let them. They always do that when they can't figure you out. They will test you. Let them. That's how they learn your limits. They will challenge you. Good. That's how they learn your strength. This is your code. Now, you don't ask for respect. You become the kind of man people are forced to respect. And when the world sees that, they fall silent. Because they know you're not like them anymore. Say it now with quiet power. I do not kneel. pain is part of life. You can't escape it, but you can choose how you suffer. You either suffer now by training, by grinding, by building, or you suffer later with regret, with weakness, with loss. That's the rule. There is no comfort-only path, no easy way to greatness. You either face the fire on your terms, or life will throw you into it when you're not ready. Most men avoid discomfort. They avoid risk. They avoid hard choices. And what happens? Life beats them down, slowly, painfully, without mercy. But you're different now. You choose to suffer early. You choose the cold mornings, the heavy weights, the lonely nights. Of work, the rejection, the discipline. Because you know that this kind of suffering is fuel. It builds you. It shapes you. It makes you sharp. The other kind? The suffering from laziness, from fear, from hesitation. That one destroys not, so embrace the grind. Run toward the pain. Let it teach you. Let it forge you. Every great man you admire, he suffered, but not by accident. He chose it. He didn't wait for failure to wake him up. He prepared for it. You want freedom? Then earn it through discipline. You want peace? Then fight for it through structure. You want power? Then bleed for it before anyone hands you anything. That's the price. And most won't pay it, but you will. Because you know the pain you choose now will save you from the suffering that destroys others later. So next time you feel tired, afraid, uncomfortable, smile. Say, good, this is the pain I chose. Because that means you're in control. Say it like a weapon, not a whisper. I do not kneel. If you don't build your own life, someone else will control it. If you don't build your own mind, the world will fill it with noise. If you don't build your fortress, you'll always be exposed. The world is not safe. People will lie. They will betray. They will use you. If you're open, unguarded, or desperate. So build your inner fortress. That means build your body, so no one can push you around. Build your mind, so no one can confuse you. Build your money, so no one can control you. Build your standards, so no one can drain you. Your fortress is not walls around your house. It's the discipline, the habits, the identity you build inside yourself. And once you build it, you don't chase people. You don't beg for love. You don't rely on luck. You choose. You decide. You stand because you've already done the work. And the man who builds himself can't be broken by anyone. They may try to break your spirit, but you've trained it. They may try to trap you, but you've built options. They may try to shame you, but you've built unshakable self-respect. This is your fortress, made of patience, of pain, of persistence, of power no one gave you because you built it yourself. And if they ever try to invade, if they ever try to knock down what you've built, you won't run. You'll stand on your wall, look them in the eyes and say, I do not kneel. You've heard the truth. You've felt it in your bones. And now you face a choice. You can go back to comfort, back to softness, back to living the way they trained you to. Or you can step forward, into the pain, into the fire, into the silence where real strength is born. No more waiting, no more wishing, no more begging for someone to save you. You are the builder, the weapon, the storm. So stand up, shoulders back, mind clear, eyes focused. You don't need to scream. You don't need permission. You don't need to be liked. Because deep down, you already know the world respects the man who walks like he owns his fate. So from this moment on, no more weakness. No more apologies. No more kneeling. Say it, believe it, live it. I do not kneel. ***, You let people show you who they are. And once you see it, you act accordingly. No revenge, no drama, just strategic disappearance. Let them wonder why your access vanished. Let them suffer in the presence of your absence. They thought you'd fold. You trained. They thought you'd cry. You calculated. They thought you'd break. You built. You've become a different species now, quietly powerful, internally rich, untouchable, not because you fight, but because you no longer need to. That's what true power is. Not brute force, but the option to use it. You walk softly because you know your fists are iron. You let others talk because you've outgrown the need to be heard. You don't react not because you don't care, but because your energy is too expensive. You'll never be manipulated. Again, because you no longer run on emotions. You run on standards. You don't need closure. You don't need explanations. You have what they fear most, self-sufficiency. You are now the storm they try to prepare for. And most are already too late. Comment. I do not kneel because you are no longer here to prove. You are here to command. If this hit you, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because we are not here to be liked. We are here to become lethal.